Hello, everyone.
Hello. We're
Good
here.
news. It's modern.
Modern magic stuff happening.
Yeah.
Whenever you guys are ready.
So we're back with more modern.
Yep. Good shit, as always.
I'm going to bring you at least 3 rounds tonight. And
Very likely 6.
yeah,
Fairly
we'll
likely
see.
6.
We'll see where things stand at 10 p.m. Eastern. If there's enough people in here, we'll bring you 3 more at 10.
Yeah.
For those night owls out there
There are
who
some.
would rather watch Magic than play it.
So, first off, we've got 2 Invitational Champions heading off here.
Yeah, we do.
Our most recent, Mr. Thomas Books.
Yeah, Tom Books is the reigning.
Yeah. Although Mike Dashner is a 2-time Invitational Champion. So.
Yeah, he won consecutive. He fell just short of 3 consecutive this last time. He actually got hammered by Thomas, who was not playing Hammer.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of fucking extra notifications here today.
There are. Notifications out the wazoo. So we've got a Hammertime versus some Narset stuff. Hammer can definitely go pretty fucking fast, so I'm not sure.
You gotta hope for Mike that he's got fatal pushes, and I gotta say, man, I've played against Hammer a lot with my blue-black control deck, and just speaking on that, if you've got a play set of fatal pushes and a play set of drown in the lock, you've got a pretty good chance against Hammer.
Is that River of Tears I see?
Oh yeah.
Is that that?
Yeah,
it's
hey, us blue-black players, we like a River of Tears now.
Dude, River of Tears.
I'll play River of Tears all day.
Yeah, dude, that's a good land. All right.
Yep,
So,
I like one of in every blue-black list.
Yeah, tell them they were good to go. Did they not hear me?
They must not have.
I'm gonna go make sure.
Or they're might resolving mulligans.
I think they are. I'm just gonna go make sure.
Yeah, Tom's got a difficult decision here. It's like, yeah, I think you throw back the protection. Assuming he probably didn't know what his opponent's on yet, so... That's not River of Tears, because it wouldn't have come in tapped like that. John, that's definitely not River of Tears. It came in tapped.
Yeah? Oh, okay. The hell is it?
I don't
We
know.
just got a new artwork, so, but it's definitely not that though.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's River of Tears and he just tapped it for no value.
I can't see that happening.
It's not the way I would do it.
Well, we'll figure it out eventually. Maybe, or we won't, because, you know.
Is it like a new watery grave?
Oh, it is. It's the fucking space watery grave is what it is.
Okay.
Can't tell from here, but there's a ship in the water.
So there is no water or graves in space.
Well, it's on a planet, so.
Okay.
On that planet.
All right.
The
I'll give you that.
The planet is the watery grave.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that aren't in space.
All right.
For all you Star Wars fans out there, you know what there is not in space that those movies always get wrong?
What?
Sound.
Right. Yeah. Yep. For sure. Here's the old Stone Forge. That's getting counterspelled. That's what happens. Playing against blue control thingy.
Yeah, and
Guess
I
what?
like his spot here. The one thing for Mike is you can't not hit lands.
Yeah, that's kind of an issue. Let's hope that doesn't continue. 2 on the Saga.
And I have to assume playing something like Narset, maybe he has to fit that package in.
Right.
You probably have to
Tom really needs...
not play things like Consider or Opt, you know,
Yeah.
and I hope that's not the case because you really need those kinds of effects to hit land drops.
Tom needs a white source. His next turn is going to be pretty crazy.
All right.
Gonna get the spring leaf.
There we go.
All right, now we're in business.
So here's the awkward thing, John, is that Narset's actually just like fucking atrocious in this matchup.
It is. And so I guess like, but if it's in your hand, you may as well get it down because you're not snapping, counterspelling anything, right?
Yeah, you only got
So-
3 lands, so the best you're going to do is hard cast Force Negation, which you can just not hard cast it.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. Yeah, I think just stick the Narset and say fuck it.
Yeah, and if your Narset dies, I think you're fine with that.
Yeah, he's got another one, and if you really need to, if it doesn't die, then you can force the extra copy of Narset. So I think that would be fine.
The one thing I've thought about with Narset, John, is playing some number of spell lands.
I like that, Lily. What do you think?
Lily, what's the other? Is that a Tainted Indulgence? Yeah, I like the Lily.
Yeah.
I like playing some number of spell lands with Narset just so you can hit lands off of her. Like, I mean, I don't even think it really fucking matters which ones they are. Just
right. All right, so here's the trigger. He's gonna go ahead, float a mana, gonna go get Springleaf Drum, and he's gonna be doing some things. He's gonna be doing some stuff this turn. His force negation might have to force something, but it can't force the Pure Steel. So that's the important thing for Tom this turn.
It is.
So, and he's got 2 hammers, so he's going to catch, one of those hammers is probably going to catch a negation, and then Mike's going to be very frustrated when the second one resolves, and then gets equipped to this Ornithopter.
Yeah, so he's got a mana floating.
Yeah.
And does he have a land in hand, I guess is the question.
Right. He does not, I think. So he can't do both hammers.
Okay, so that's going to work out pretty well for Mike.
Yeah. Does he have...
This is where you clinch your asshole a little bit.
Yeah. Does Mike have actual removal in his hand, though?
He doesn't. He took that. This is the problem I ran into, John, with Liliana versus these affinity style decks. Is exactly this.
So he did have the mana floating. So.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So second hammer gets in, and we could be seeing. Yeah,
he's got Metalcraft, so I would hook up that hammer to something, probably to Pure Steel. I guess it doesn't matter.
Tom drew an extra card, triggering that Metalcraft thing, and John or Mike having to remind him that Narset says you can't do that.
So he should definitely go ahead and kill Narset.
I think that's a good idea, but also your opponent.
Did he pitch the other one? No, he pitched. What did he pitch to it? Oh, he did pitch the other one. I'll go ahead and get rid of it. Stop the shenanigans. That card advantage. Okay, he doesn't care. Interesting. At 1 card against control, I'd probably want to draw more cards. Personally. I think.
Yeah, I like this. I like hitting the player here because outside of a sweeper, he's just dead.
Oh, yeah, I didn't realize he was that low already. So.
Oh, yeah, dude, the hammer hit.
Yeah.
Hammer hit's real.
Yeah, Mike is kind of boned. He's got really nothing. He's got a drown. I mean...
Well, it doesn't do anything, really.
Is it CMC or power?
So if he can hit a fatal push off of this, I think he's still alive.
Nope.
That is none of those things. I don't know what the card on the far left is.
It's the new Teferi.
I know the other 3 don't do shit.
It's the new Teferi. It doesn't do shit.
Okay.
It's a 5-drop. It's not doing nothing.
Yep, this is where you scoop them up.
Just bring up Drown real quick. I can't remember if it goes off of mana value or if it goes off power.
Drown?
Yeah. Yeah, you should know.
Oh, it's mana value.
It's mana value, so he could still drown the thing coming at him?
He could, but it's just not going to do a difference because the other thing is lethal also.
Right. Yeah, not having an extra land drop.
Yeah, Drown kills token creatures for free, even if there's no graveyard.
He would be alive if he didn't miss his 4th land.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, he might still be fucked,
that's
but
huge.
He would still be alive.
Any control deck, that is the one thing you cannot do is miss land drops.
Yeah.
Especially the first 4 to 5.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you need to get to 5 on the exact pace. Like, you cannot skip any pace there. All right, firing up the Ink Moth. And he's going to pretty much get to do whatever he wants. Like, the best Mike has here is just a ambush snap.
Yeah, he's got nothing because he's going to have multiple lethal targets and he can only deal with one. A simple fatal push. Well, I guess at this point, even that wouldn't work because he's got multiple. He literally needs a sweeper. Oh, fatal push would have done it because he would have been able to kill the thing that's allowing him to equip.
Yeah. Yep.
And Mike scoops him up. Curious as whether or not fatal push is in his deck.
Well, we are gonna.
I mean, I don't know how you play blue black and not play fatal push. That seems.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to.
I'll assume there's a play set in there.
Clusters, dress down for sure.
Yeah, dress down's good. He's a stud. That's a trap. That card's a trap.
It's a trap.
I do kind of like Damnation.
I mean, I feel like why not? I think a sweeper is just good against this deck. I mean, yeah, it doesn't kill Call Drift. That happens, but you have other ways to deal with that. I think you should definitely bring in the sweeper.
The problem with putting Liliana the Last Hope, like bringing it in at this point, is there's a chance that you might draw it, and that would suck.
Yeah, this is definitely not the match for it. If there were a match for it.
I don't think there's a match for it,
John.
I don't think there's been a match for that card since it was played in Standard.
Yeah.
I think that was the last time.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a spot for it in Pioneer at some point. I'm not sure.
I think so. I think so. If you had a deck that was a self-mill deck, and you had creatures that you relied on to win the game, like she has that value by herself, and so there would be relevance. But if you're just looking at her as like removal and just getting to the ultimate, like she's not going to get to the ultimate because there's a million ways to answer her, and the removal is...
Planeswalkers are bad these days, man.
Yeah, so the only way I think she could be playable, and I think there's probably a deck out there that it would fit, is if it was a creature-based self-mill deck. Yeah. That's the only place I can see her, and there's a million other things that is more efficient than that.
And speaking of Planeswalkers being bad, so I've been really critical of the Watu, the kind of the name blue-white control player who plays the 4 Shark Typhoons and no Planeswalkers, and like dicking around with it a little bit this week. I got to give it to him. He's right, because if he's playing his version and he plays against somebody else who's playing Planeswalkers, they're just awful in the matchup because they die to everything, and he's just doing his threats at instant speed that are basically uncounterable. Oh yeah, and like what he's doing is just better. Yeah, and he gets to play, and so he basically cut all the Planeswalkers and played just a bunch of memory deluges because. Now he's doing all the stuff that Planeswalkers are doing, but at instant speed. And I'm into that.
The only walkers that are playable are the ones that cost 3 or less.
Yeah. And the only one he plays is the little Teferi, just because it just fucks with your opponent. Yeah.
If you're playing white and blue, you kind of just have to play that card.
Yeah, unfortunately, seems like that's
I hate to
likely.
have to say that. Like I go back and forth.
That's fine. I think that there's no problem with that. I mean,
no, there's not. I hate to have to.
I mean, like if you're playing red, you're playing Lightning Bolt.
Well, sure, yeah. No, it's definitely that. I've been with my deck. I've been going back. Like I want to play other stuff.
That's true anymore. Huh? I think there's probably some red decks that don't play Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, probably, but. Yeah, I've gone back and forth with my decks. I look at that Teferi spot. I'm like, man, I would really like to have a threat or something, or just some other thing. And it's like, nope, you just can't cut this card. You cannot cut Little Tef. That card, if you're playing white-blue, you should just have it. There's just no rational explanation to not. All right, EE is good in the opener, Fatal Push.
It's another terrible hand.
Oh, God, the land.
I'll tell you what, though.
The land.
This hand is so good against his opponent, though. That sucks that he had to throw that back. If that
it was risky, but he had time.
If that utility land was a basic island, that's a keep all day, and you probably can't lose.
Oh yeah, no, that would have been running shit for sure. Tom's looks like the hand.
Yeah, and he's really comfortable with this strategy. He's kind of come full circle.
Yeah. Hammertime's a good fucking deck, dude.
It is.
It's a good deck. A lot of cards that have never had a place to shine are like, that's the best place for them. Like Giver of Runes and Esper Sentinel, that's where they go. That deck. And they're fantastic in that deck. So that's better mana. Pretty alright. It's got the thing, but the thing is, the thing in this match is kind of too slow. That thing is, yeah. I like it. I like the Narset wheel thing, but man, it's the thing you're doing on turn 4. You know, like, anything you're doing on turn 4 has to be pretty fucking amazing.
Yeah. Agreed.
And just like making your opponent discard their hand, wow, that's really powerful. Like,
oh my God. He's got the, oh, John. He traded in that hand that had all the shit for a hand that has 2 drowned catacombs.
Oof.
I love drowned catacombs.
Yeah,
I'm a fan. I'm a
Buddy
fan.
lands
But this
do
is
not get enough love.
This is what happens when you play too many of them.
Yeah. And aid with no answer for the aid in blue-black, except unless he's got a brazen borrower.
Oh God, second drowned catacombs. Oh.
I mean, he can consider, you know.
He can consider.
He can consider.
And he should. He should consider his options.
All right. The thing that gets me about this game.
Oh, you got to respond. You got to respond.
Yeah. He's got it.
Okay.
Mike knows what's what.
He kind of gave the nod as if to say, like, yeah, it's good. Oh, God, that has to feel so bad.
And he's got to bend it for a land and not draw a land.
Yeah, and he needs the land. So the thing is, bending it is good if you hit the land, because then you've got Snapcaster Mage online.
But not bending it.
Okay, perfect.
There we go.
You knew what he was doing the whole time.
Got there.
I don't hate his spot.
I think he's fine.
He just needs to continue hitting land drops. This little 1-drop against specifically this Hammertime deck is kind of a pain in the ass, man.
Which one?
The Esper Sentinel.
Oh yeah. No, these are the matches where he's good. He's especially good in this deck. All right, we're gonna see a Stoneforge.
We are indeed.
White mana up to protect it. Does he have the combat trick thing?
I don't think he does. I think he's probably just gonna follow up with the other dude.
Yeah, just play the Giver. If this resolves, play the Giver for sure.
I will say though, if Mike is able to rip, I was gonna say, yeah, I guess he needs way too many things.
He's not in a terrible spot. I mean,
no, he's not. He's not.
Been in that push. I don't know. That sucks that you had to do that.
Well, he's got the Snapcaster Mage, so...
Okay. Oh, yeah, he's all right.
Yeah, so it'll be all right, as long as he hits land drops. Because otherwise, I mean, if he has to Fatal Push, but this Esper Sentinel's out there, and so...
Definitely go ahead and pay
back.
this. Well, if he had... Yeah, I would pay the tax. He's not doing anything else, so...
Oh, yeah. 100% here you do.
If you can... Go ahead and pay the, especially against this goddamn deck. Go ahead and pay that tax.
100% you do. I'm just saying if he doesn't hit land drops, that's not going to be an option eventually. You know?
No, for sure. And here's a Giver, and that's also fucking annoying because now you have to kill the Giver before you kill anything else.
Yeah. Unless he does it on this next turn.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, he can kill the Sentinel, but then all of his targeted removal is just bad.
Yeah.
So you just always have to kill the Giver first. It's fucking obnoxious. Even though this is a nerfed version of Mom, it's fucking obnoxious.
Ooh, he's not going to do it.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
I mean, I guess he can do it now, but that just...
Well, he can kill the Giver whenever he wants, but he can't kill anything else as long as the Giver's out. And so it just creates an awkward space.
I guess he wasn't going to be able to anyway, and he's going to have to spend all of his mana to do it, so...
Yeah, these threats combined are pretty fucking annoying to deal with in Hammertime, for sure.
So he just goes and gets Hammer, right? Like,
I mean, yeah.
He just goes and gets Hammer.
It's going to equip. And whatever, just equip it a Sentinel. Mike doesn't have the fucking resources to double remove with a Giver protection.
No, he really needed to hit a land drop.
I'm curious how many
and
he's
Damnation.
playing.
Like, I mean, I think...
yeah, the Sweeper is sweet.
Fuck, dude. Like, this sounds terrible, and it is, but, like, I'm almost thinking about letting my opponent draw a card to get Snapcaster Mage in here and maybe consider, like, you just need more cards. Like, you need to be able to go play land and something next turn.
And he's going to equip up Sentinel. I think he is in Trump mode here. He's got to be.
I mean, this isn't lethal, though, so he could take the hit.
Yeah.
I guess the question is, do you snap push?
He's...
Okay. He's going to snap push, let his opponent draw a card.
He may as well just give it protection from blue. So
I gotta be honest, John. I don't think this is a winning line. I think that you need the extra card. As bad as it is.
If this was what you were doing, I probably would have.
Like, are you just dead next turn? I guess not necessarily, because he does have a way to deal with the lethal threat next turn.
But now he has extra threats too, and he's
taking this hit.
He could just draw so much.
Okay, so he's going to leave a chumper for next turn.
Well, that's the thing. Now Tom is just drawing cards. There is no tax to be paid.
Yeah.
That is not a thing.
Ugh.
Yeah, this is rough, dude.
He did get the 4th land. I'm a fan of that. I don't know what land this is.
It's the Nephalia Drownyard, the middle land from that cycle.
The what?
From the Gavney Township cycle of lands from our OG Innistrad. There's a mill one. It's Nephalia Drownyard.
So it mills somebody?
Yeah.
That seems not good.
Is that what that is?
That can't.
Maybe it's not.
That sounds awful on this deck.
It's got it. Okay, I could be wrong. I can't recognize the artwork though. But, since there's 18 artworks to everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to do so.
I know that this deck would normally play the, each player draws and then discards.
Yeah, we've seen that.
Like
it's definitely not that.
That's got though.
That's got some. I don't know what that card is.
I don't like to play this many
Ink Moth,
lands in my blue-black deck that don't tap for
getting
blue or
in
black.
there. Yeah, Mike is in just such a bad spot here. He's got a draw in the lock and he's got a snap chump. That's what he's got. What is Tom working with? Yep, fucker. That's where we need the poker cam. All right. Much deliberation happening. Much deliberation.
I call it posturing.
Posturing. Deliberative posturing.
There's a lot of posturing going on here. So what I like is you've got another Snapcaster in hand. So I assume that was a chump?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jump, take 4, take the infect, drown in the lock, the token. Tom's drawing a card.
He's drawing like the land.
Okay. That's fine.
I actually would have drawn in the lock the thing that has a hammer on it.
Yeah. Because you can't re-equip.
What I would have done, I would have done that instead of taking.
He can snap do that now though. So
right. But what I'm saying is, if instead of doing what he just did, if he would have actually in combat instead of chumping, just killed the Sentinel.
Right.
Then he could play another Snapcaster Mage this turn and potentially double block.
Right.
The construct guy. Potentially.
He's still sitting on Narset and
he's got double snappy.
2 snaps and a Narset. I mean, that feels pretty decent. Like,
yeah. You can kill a thing, and I think he needed to get the Sentinel off the board.
I agree with you. I think that would have been a little bit better than the infect because I'm not.
But
so
what
he can't equip.
What he can do this turn though is he can kill it. Follow it up with a Snapcaster to chump the other thing, and then consider at the end of his turn, which seems like a decent turn.
I'm okay with that. That's a good amount of value.
But it just sucks to know that he could have just done this in the last turn.
Yeah.
And he's also just kind of dead if Thomas happens to have like the protection spell.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's annoying.
Yeah. Does this exile all the stuff in your graveyard when it comes in?
All the black and red cards. So it doesn't.
Well, that's relevant. Everything. So I think you need to respond to this.
Yeah. Is that going to catch a counter spell?
I don't think you can afford to counter it. I think that
drown. Consider. God, I can't wait to get this fucking light moved this weekend. After today, we are going to have no glare on the right side.
I am not proclaiming that.
I am. Wager money on it. I mean, not like a lot of money, but I would wager an amount. All right, so what is he going to do? Well, let it resolve is what he did. So, or did he?
I think he's still deliberating.
Is there nothing black in his graveyard?
There is. There's that Drown in the Lock, which he needs this turn.
That shouldn't be. So it must not have resolved yet? Because if it resolved...
No, I think Tom just got tired of holding it up.
Bring up Core Sanctifier, if you could, please, sir. I think it's an ETB that it does that, so he still has an extra chance to resolve or to respond.
Yeah, he's still very much.
So he's gonna drown. It's just there's no S. It's no plural.
I don't think that's the name of the card.
Sanctifier and Beck. That's right. I always get it mixed up with that.
Oops, wrong one. That was hard. Core Sanctifier. Yeah, limited staple.
ETB trigger.
All right. He did the thing that we thought he might do.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Now let this resolve. You're all good with that.
So Tom did draw his card, I assume, because he was definitely drawing a card. There was no 8 mana to pay that tax.
Yeah, I'm assuming you didn't miss that. Maybe that was Mike's strat was to
Ugh.
Oh wait, no, there's no longer a thing in play. So
you're gonna use that.
Oh, he didn't respond. Okay.
Yeah. So Tom's still getting swingy for lethal here, so he's got to chump.
He does have to chump. Unless he's got a fatal push, which he does not. All right. How about Damnation one time?
Yeah. Yeah, this would be the best
one time,
position.
Deck. One time.
Nope. You can draw into it.
But then you don't have the mana to cast it?
You would if you hit a land. Draw 2, discard 1.
Okay, so if your top 2 cards are exactly land Damnation.
Yes. But you kind of got to go for it because you're not doing shit else.
I like it. And your opponent gets to draw a card, which is atrocious.
I mean, he is so stuck. There is nothing else he has to do. Like,
yeah, I agree. 100%.
And Narset ain't finding shit that's going to help this situation. Shit. Handful of turns, he's just going to start equipping that hammer.
I don't think that's going to happen. Isn't it like 10?
I thought it was 8. It might be 10.
It's some ungodly amount.
Yeah. I mean, he's only 3 away from 8, so that could hypothetically. I mean, Mike will probably be dead before then. Because if this, I mean, he's going to be dead if this Tainted Indulgence doesn't yield exactly what he needs. So, he really doesn't have a choice here. I think he just has to do it. He just has to try.
Yeah, it's, if his top 2 cards are a land.
Because you're not doing anything else with what he has in hand.
Yeah, just
he has no removal anymore.
Land plus Damnation, and you're alive.
Fucking...
Some might even say alive and well.
Narset's not going to find you anything that does anything here.
No, it's not. It is not.
Come on, Mike.
Come on, Mike. It's always so different when you're sitting in that seat.
Oh, I know. This is the one thing you have to do.
Okay, he's looking at it. He's thinking. Uh-oh.
Okay. He is going to consider...
Okay, so if he finds a removal spell...
He's still probably dead? That's not doing anything.
Nope.
Oh, and he drew
A really bad card.
Yeah.
It looks like Tom forgot to draw a card off that.
He did, but, you know, it's on him.
Mike's been really good with taking these long pauses to make Thomas forget that he gets to draw a card once these actions actually happen.
Right. Yeah, so Mike's pretty much dead. I mean,
yeah,
he's not like completely dead.
I don't know what he was thinking his out was with that play compared to the Tainted. I mean, the Tainted Indulgent play would not have worked.
He is not dead, I think, right? Because Tom doesn't have exactly enough power to actually make him dead.
He's dead. He's dead. Because,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's dead.
3's getting through either way. So...
Yeah.
Or does he have a second snap? Okay, he's not dead if he has a second snap. No, he has that terrible card. That's right.
Yeah.
Go ham. Yep, there it is.
All right. Tom Books takes down round 1.
Yep. With the old hammer time.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back for round 2.
Here in a bit.